You know, I was with this gentleman. I was with this gentleman in the first part of their statement, and it's a very profound statement. Uh, in a video where I was talking about how can there be a war in heaven? That doesn't make any sense. And you can go back and watch that video. But I said we have never. He said we have never experienced a life without evil, without pain and jealousy. We have no idea and can't even understand how a world without evil can be. I'm with you. You don't. We have no idea what that's like because we can't remember what that was like when we was like first born, or we even knew what evil was or felt pains or anything of that nature. But you say that's why you have faith, which speaks to the fear of why you have to have your heavens and your hells. Because because of the fear of hell and experiencing an environment that's worse than what you experience here in the beauty of earth, you grab onto this idea of heaven because, and this God or whatever God deity you choose, because of this fear of receiving a far worse, far harsher pain to which you live in right now. And so you have faith in that. Faith meaning that there's no evidence of it beyond your personal belief. But then you went off the deep end. Then you went off the deep end. He will come back to God one day, I believe. That's a personal belief. That's fine. I don't mind you having that belief that one day you believe that I will come back to your God. If that makes you feel better, if that makes you able to live your life, that's perfectly fine. Have that thought. It's not my thought, but have that thought. I cannot determine what your thoughts are. But then you went even further. When you demanded or commanded, he will repent just before his death, and God will forgive him. Let me tell you a little story. So my dad passed away. My dad was like myself. And a woman tried to come up and say that at the moment when my dad couldn't talk, he was conscious after having a stroke, but he couldn't talk. And she said that I prayed with your dad, and I know I can see in his eyes, and I felt in my spirit that he accepted Jesus 2 days before he passed away, when he couldn't speak or anything. And I told her, I said, then you don't know my father. You came to your own justification to make yourself feel better and maybe to go around and make my sisters feel better or whatever. I don't know why. But what you're not going to do is come to me and lie about my father. Because in his last waking day, his last conscious day, I asked him, squeeze my hand if you want Jesus. Squeeze my hand if you want Muhammad. Squeeze my hand if you want any of those religious things that people normally come to and say. And I haven't told anybody this. I haven't told my sisters this. They don't watch my videos, so I'm not worried about it. But I was like, squeeze my hand if you want to, at this last minute, believe in these deities. And he didn't squeeze my hand. And I said, squeeze my hand if you're secure in what you believe, that you're not afraid of death as far as afterlife. He squeezed my hand at that moment, letting me know that he was fine. And I was asking them this because I did see some anguish in his eyes. I saw some irritation in his eyes. I saw something different. And then it came to me. I said, squeeze my hand if you're frustrated or angry or got some regrets. And that's when he squeezed my hand. It was about regrets. And we went through a whole litany of things that he has regretted in his life. And we talked about, I talked to him about it. And he used squeezing my hand as his way of communicating with me. You see, this young lady never did that. She just took it upon herself to decide what was going to happen. Because this is a common thing that Christians use. That at the moment of death, that everybody is going to become fearful and go run into Jesus. Do you really think a Muslim a person who grew up Islamic is going to run to Jesus at the moment of death? Do you think that a person who grew up Buddhist is going to run to Jesus at the moment of death, or any other religion that's outside of yours? But you would probably say no to that. But to a person who walked away from Christianity, for some reason you think that at the moment of death we're going to go running to Jesus. If you wouldn't think that of a Muslim, you wouldn't think that of a Hindu, you wouldn't think that of a Buddhist, why would you think that of somebody who walked away clearly from your religion because they studied, they read, They visited sites. They looked at the book for what it was. They tested it and found it wanting. There is absolutely no way that at any moment that I would ever go running to Jesus and asking for him. I believe that y'all say this because it makes you feel better. It makes you feel better about your choice. It makes you feel better about what you believe in and give you strength in that. But more than half the population on this planet would never run to your Jesus at the moment of death. So why do you think anybody would do that other than yourself or somebody who believes in it but have not lived the life according to what they're supposed to live? So I know what I would do when the moment comes. So you always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.